Hello dolls and welcome back to another video. Today I want to do something laid back. I feel like lately I have been doing a lot of these scripted videos, a lot of just like explaining, styling videos, but it's been a while since I kind of sat down and had a little chat with you. So today I want to do a classic get ready with me. It's gonna be quite chatty because I asked for questions on Instagram, and then I also picked a couple of questions that have been popping up on my YouTube channel over the past couple of weeks. So I am truly excited. I also want to talk about Vlogmas. There is so much happening right now. So I felt like this was a fun little video for me to do today and hopefully for you to enjoy. So maybe you want to get ready with me, whatever you're doing. I just hope you enjoy this. I really don't have any plan, but the first thing that I usually do when getting ready is taking out this thing. I actually got a couple of questions about my curls. They're these like heatless curl things, which I hope I can get to a point where I don't have to use them, because right now I feel like I have to use them because of how dead my ends are, but I really want to go and get a haircut, and I hope I can do it within the next couple of like weeks, maybe even next week. I don't know. I'm definitely planning on getting something probably inspired by Marianne Faithfull during the time when she filmed The Girl on the Motorcycle. Something like that I feel like would be cool, something with a little more layers. But I'll definitely take you along once this is happening, because I feel like hair is something that a lot of people are interested in. So I just take this out. I don't do this every night. I just do it, I don't know, every other night, I want to say, because usually these curls last me a little bit, even though I don't really like to use a lot of hairspray. So I'm just like shaking them out. This is usually all that I do. And then I'm left with this. They always come out a little different. They're never 100% even, but I actually don't mind that. I feel like it's a cute little look. Maybe I want to do some sort of hairstyle. I really don't know. If so, I can do that later. I'm just gonna leave them like this for now. That always feels better, because even though these curling rods are quite comfortable to sleep in, it is nicer to just have your hair be free and your head like this. One thing that I really like to use, and what I use pretty much every day, is some sort of dry shampoo. My hair is very straight naturally, and so I just like to give it a little bit of texture. My mom always used to say that when I was a kid, she would try to put like hair ties or something in my hair, and it would just all slide out because of how straight my hair was. Because we're at the topic of hair right now, someone asked how I dye my hair. I don't. This is a leftover of years and years of bleaching and dyeing. I used to have really nice, actually, ginger hair. I really like the color. I'm gonna put up a picture here. This is how I started my channel. And then I dyed it back to brown. This is my natural color. It's kind of like down to here. It's really dark, but the brown didn't like fully cover the end. So this is definitely a lot lighter, but I'm planning on eventually cutting it back because I do prefer the darker hair color now. And I prefer how healthy and nice my hair feels. I'm gonna start by using a little bit of foundation. I have this one. I've had it for a couple of years now. I got this from a sponsorship, and I don't even know if the brand is still around. I have no clue what happened to them, but I really like this foundation. It's a good color match for me. I always like to use just a little bit. I don't like it to be too heavy. So while I'm applying this, let me look for a first question to answer. I really like this one. What is your favorite song by Leslie Gore? I have to say this is a little hard for me because I really like most of her stuff, but I do have to say a clear favorite of mine is Misty. It is so catchy. I truly adore it. I definitely want to make a video on Leslie Gore. Just gonna do a little more. But yeah, generally speaking, Misty is definitely my favorite song. You Don't Own Me is probably her most popular one, I would assume. But for me, Misty is just, it stands the test of time. It's just such a great, great song. My skin has been breaking out a lot lately. I feel like it's the hormonal change. I kind of like this foundation. It has a lot of coverage, so I only use that little bit. Next up, I'm gonna do some concealer. This one looks a little ratchet. I already have a new one. This is just a product that I keep on buying because I really like it. It's by Essence. But I'm just gonna do a little under on my under eye bags, and then also on my lids, and just on all the little areas that are needing a little of extra attention today. So Indigo Gravestones on Instagram asks, do you enjoy concert? If so, favorite, and then one you'd like to see. I really enjoy concerts. I'm a huge concert goer. I have to say my top concerts so far have been Greta Van Fleet. Saw them last year. I just saw Bob Dylan a couple of weeks ago. It was phenomenal. And then someone that I really enjoyed seeing live a couple of years ago was Florence and the Machine. What an incredible concert. I saw them at the Sziget Festival in Budapest. It's been several years, but that was actually a great concert too. I always feel like the question of who would you like to see in concert is a little hard, because of course I would love to see the Beatles live, but that's not gonna happen. So just realistically speaking, I would love to see Stevie Nicks perform. Paul McCartney is definitely top of the list. Eric Clapton, I know he's problematic, but his music is just incredible. I really love his music. I mean, the Rolling Stones, that would be a big one. It's kind of hard because I feel like most bands I would love to see will never go on tour again, but these are definitely a couple of gigs that I would love to go to. For blush, I'm gonna go with this one. It's like a little liquid blush that I've been liking a lot lately. It even says shake well on the bottle, and you really have to, otherwise it doesn't really work. But I like to go kind of like this, if that makes any sense. So I'll definitely pull it upwards on the like side, on my temples basically, kind of like going up to the eye. And I always just see how much I want to use, how much I want to do today, because I definitely like a blushy little look. Just gonna do a little more, and then I also always put some on my nose. I feel like it really helps with that youthful 1960s look. Julia Nehan asks, how are you doing, sweet pea? That's a sweet little question. I have been doing okay. To be honest, I feel like I've been doing better than I would have expected after what happened. I recently saw a comment of someone being like, this woman does not look like she's grieving, which I just found so insane, because you only see like this small portion of me on the internet, and I'm definitely grieving, and I'm grieving a lot, but I'm also seeing a lot of light lately. I feel like a lot of things are currently changing in my life, which I do kind of like that is happening. I feel like when I had my son the first couple of months, you're just home and it is all beautiful, but now I really like that I can go out and just experience a lot of new things. And I have been thinking about doing university. I would love to do online school, and lately I have just been really inspired to learn something new. So I'm thinking about doing this because my son's gonna go to like daycare kindergarten in spring next year, so we'll see. And then when we'll have another baby eventually, I could just continue because it is online school. But yeah, generally speaking, I am pretty well actually. I've been really liking this primer, and I like to use it as an eyeshadow base. It works really well for me. I feel like the number one question I always get asked, and I just like to blend this with my finger, is how, why, when I got into the 60s and 70s. And I've answered it so many times before, so I'm gonna keep it a little brief in this video. Basically, I just adored the music. I started to listen to the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. My dad kind of like raised me on Bob Dylan and Johnny Cash, but when I discovered the Beatles, something about their music really resonated with me. And then when I started to like look more into their lives, I learned about their wives and girlfriends, and that was kind of like my segue into 60s fashion. I've always been a big lover of reading biographies, and so that definitely kind of drew me in. I remember reading Patty Boyd's and Pamela Des Barres and just being really excited, and I just really loved what I learned. And then another thing is that I've always wanted to make movies as a kid, and so I was always interested in films, and I have a lot of 60s movies that I really love. I'm a big fan of Roman Polanski. I know personally he's kind of like a difficult person, I get that, but just speaking of his art, I really love his films. I think he's an incredible director. And then also movies like Daisies and Wonderwall are just so special, so that also made me fall in love with the 1960s. And then I feel like once I got into the time, it just completely devoured me, and I haven't left ever since. I really like to use these Kohl Kajal pencils to just use underneath my eyeshadow. I'm just gonna sharpen this one a little because it makes the colors a lot more vibrant. So I'm gonna do that. This is a sweet one too. I hope I'm saying your name right. I want to say it's Hodolian Gabriella. I don't know. I'm sorry if it is not. It's just your Instagram ad. She says, "Hi Emma, I love your content. Thank you so much. And you're so inspirational for me." That means a lot, honestly. What got you in filming and all this stuff? That's actually an interesting question. As said, I've really loved making movies as a kid, and I've always wanted to go to film school, which that's like a whole other story. But basically, I have been fascinated by filming ever since I was a kid. I have been always wanting like cameras and gear for Christmas. It's just always been my thing. And so when I started sharing about my love for the 60s and 70s online and people were like, we want to see more, it kind of felt natural for me to make a YouTube channel because I also really enjoy editing and all that process. So this kind of like ties together a lot of my creativity for me because I like to be creative both in front and behind the camera. So I don't make this like super nice. This can be pretty messy. It doesn't really matter because I always smooth it out with my fingers. I feel like I'm just flying through these questions. Gregory Campling asks, what brought you to Germany from America? Which part of the US are you from? This questions about where I'm from, how I ended up in Germany, my accent, why I don't have an accent or why I have a heavy accent. It's always a topic, both here and on Instagram. So just to keep this short, I am German. I was born here. I was raised here. My parents are German. My mom's family comes from Hungary, but generally everyone's German. And I don't feel like I've ever told anyone I'm American. People just assume that going off of my accent, which I have an American accent solely owned to all the movies that I watched as a kid and TV shows. I love to watch things just in the original language. So I started watching things in English pretty early on. English came easy to me, I have to say that. We had neighbors when I was a kid. Their dad worked at the army base close to me. So they were American, and so I used to play with them a lot. And then when I was 8 or 9, in 2008, I was 9, I went to the US for the first time, spent the entire summer there, really liked it, and yeah, I don't know, that's kind of the story. And I feel like my English has been and still is my biggest insecurity when it comes to filming all these videos, because I get some nasty comments about my accent every now and then. People really get so mad if I pronounce a word wrong. I remember in one of my first videos, I talked about the Beatles and I said PT best, and people just got so mad, and I'm sorry, okay, I now know that it is Pete, but I feel like it's hard for people to understand that if you get most of your knowledge about a topic from reading, which is what I do, I knew about him from reading a Beatles biography, you don't know how that name is pronounced, you just assume. And yeah, I hope you have mercy with me if I don't have all my words correctly, if I sometimes have an accent, if I sometimes say something wrong. I'm sorry, I'm trying my best, honestly. And it's always a big compliment when people assume that I'm from America just based off my language, because it means that I have good language skills, because I don't speak English outside of this and my podcast and talking to friends. In my day-to-day life, I do not speak English. Because no one does here. I don't know. It's funny to me because my entire working and being online presence is English, but then I don't speak any English outside of that. So I'm listening to a lot of podcasts, trying to keep my English fresh and going, and I always try to improve. And if anyone knows like ways to improve even further, let me know. But yeah, that's the story. I always get questions whether I'm from Wisconsin, and recently I asked someone why they assumed that, and they said that like a lot of people who live there came from Germany several decades ago, so maybe that is why. But that's all story there. In 2020, I actually briefly considered moving to the US, and so I went there. This was right before COVID hit, and I like looked for a way to get my work permit because I was in the film industry. I was gonna get one. And I was like looking for places to stay. I was in New York. That was kind of like the area that I really enjoyed living, that I felt like I could see myself living. But then COVID hit, I came back, and then a lot of other things happened. Eventually I met my husband, and now I'm here, and I just with politics and everything, I don't know if I'll ever move to the US, because also we have an amazing healthcare and educational system here. Everything is sort of free. So for now, I mean, obviously we paid through like taxes and everything, but it's definitely a better system in these kind of like areas than the US. And so for now, we don't plan on moving, but yeah, that's kind of the story there. I feel like I just talked so much. Let's continue with the makeup. Because I'm wearing so much blue today, why not do a little bit of a blue makeup look? I feel like that could be fun. I'm gonna use this little light blue color, and I'm just gonna apply that all over my lid, and I usually go like a little below my natural crease. I never know whether I like doing it with a brush or with my hand and finger more. I just go by whatever I want to do that day. I really like this color. Light blue was a super popular color for eyeshadow in the 60s, so this is nice. Brian King Music asks, what's your favorite Beatles song? This is such a hard question for me because there's so many great ones. I feel like it comes with seasons. Right now I love Eleanor Rigby. I also really been loving She's Leaving Home. There's something so special about that little tune. And then Blackbird. It's so hard for me to narrow down. My wedding song was Here, There and Everywhere. So ever since, that song has like an extra special meaning to me. So maybe it's that one. I feel like I cannot even choose a favorite song off of every record. So there's no way for me to choose like an overall favorite song. Nowhere Man. I love that one too. I don't even know. Till There Was You, Something. All these songs are just so wonderful. And then obviously tunes like Twist and Shout are just so great. So how could one choose? I'm sorry, I really can't. Okay, now that we got that, let's do a cut crease. My bangs look crazy. I should cut them, but then I don't want to because, as I said, I'm planning on going to the hairdresser. I just feel like I want the hairdresser to have as much to work with as possible. I think I'm gonna try this color, Marrakesh Express. Then I'll just see. I could always go darker. So I am, as always, going a little above my natural crease. I really like doing like in beginning, doing like the inner bit and the outer bit. Yeah, that's a nice shape. So I'll just go over and over to make it a little more pigmented. While I do that, I'm gonna answer Stacy's question. She asks, do you have any tattoos? I do have several. There was a time in my life where I thought I'd have a lot of tattoos. Right now, I'm kind of like going back from that. I haven't gotten one in ages. So let me show you the ones that I have. I feel like the one people see the most is this one. There were a couple of questions about this one, like, did it hurt? Yes, it hurt like hell, but it was fast. It was really fast. I got it because I really like the placement. I just like everything about it, honestly. I got this while I was in New York when I considered moving there. For me, it just kind of stands for seeing with your heart. And I really like that. The left side is the heart side. So I felt like that was a good choice. Then on my arm right here, I'm gonna put up a picture for you. I have some coordinates, and they are the place where my great-grandfather comes from. I had a really special connection to him because he was like the only one of my grandparents I really got to meet. He got really old and he came from Hungary, and he just came to Germany after World War II. And so this was like his little hometown. I've been there several times. And these are like the exact place where his parents' house was. With a pretty similar reasoning, actually, I do have a little sunflower on my foot. That is for my godmother. So, as a teenager, my godmother lived really close. She kind of like lived across the street, and I would spend so much time at her house. I would sleep over there all the time. I kind of lived there at some point. And when I was 16, she passed away from cancer. She was really young, in her early 30s. Yeah, it was really hard. She had cancer 3 times. First 2 times she survived, and then the 3rd time she just didn't. She was too weak at that point. And her favorite flower was the sunflower. So I got that while traveling through Indonesia the same day that I got this one, like in one session. And I just like the idea of having her with me every step that I take, because she was such an important person in my life, and I still have myself thinking about her so much. So that honestly is a really special, meaningful tattoo to me. And then I only have one more, and that's the one that I think about getting rid or covering. Because it's not how I wanted it. That's like the big reason. I have on this arm kind of like a woman and her head is a camera. I drew that several years ago, got this while traveling in Budapest. I've never once gotten a tattoo where I live. I only get them while traveling. And I wanted it to be really small, kind of like this, but then the guy who did it, he was like, I can only do it really large, and so I went with the large one, even though I didn't really want that, if I'm being honest. But this is not his fault. I didn't communicate that properly. I feel like I should have said, if you cannot do it that small, then I don't want it or something. Yeah, it just doesn't, I like it, but I find myself thinking it is too big. It doesn't really suit me. I feel like that's the thing. I'm gonna do the other eye now. I feel like I'm in such a talky mood today, which is definitely great for this video. Emma Zalberg asks, where do you find all those colorful tights? They're beautiful. Most of them are actually vintage. I like to get them at the thrift store because they're usually really inexpensive. But other than that, I get them all over the place. I don't really have like one brand that I really like. I just feel like whenever I'm somewhere and they have nice colorful tights and there's a color that I want and that I don't have yet, I'll go for it. Next up, I'm gonna do eyeliner, and I want to do Twiggy lashes, and because there were so many questions about that, I felt like it was perfect to do it today and just kind of like take you along. But I'm starting with a regular eyeliner. As always, I'm just taking it down, winging it out. I feel like this is the perfect shape of a 1960s eyeliner. I'm just gonna do the other eye and then I'll be right back. I'm gonna take a little break from answering questions just to do this because I need a little bit of concentration. So my first tip to doing Twiggy lashes is to always put your mirror like this. I always like to look up a little bit because if I look down, then this area underneath my eyes wrinkles a little more, just from the movement of the eyes. And so I really like to look upwards, and then I start usually, oh, I have so many baby hairs. I usually start right underneath my eyeliner because I already have that shape that I kind of want to imitate. So I'm gonna look up and then just really lightly going like this, and then I always try to make it thicker towards the eye, so kind of like this. And I'm not pulling on my skin because if I do that, I find myself messing up the directions of the Twiggy lashes. No need to rush this, because if you rush it, you'll do it twice. And I just kind of like follow the shape of my eyes. So right here they go a little further out, and then the more that I'm going inward, the more I just do straight down, and then once I'm on the inner corner, I do them in this direction. Hope that makes any sense. As you see, I'm just using the lightest hand possible. I know that these are so intimidating, and I was hesitant to try them for so long, but it's really not as hard as you'd imagine. Now that I already have the direction, I'm pulling on my skin just to get more color in. This is so much easier if you do it in front of a mirror where you have both hands, so that you can kind of like pull one down and then use the other one to fill it in. So I'm quickly gonna go to my bathroom, do that, do this eye, finish this eye, then I'll be right back. And we can continue asking questions, do the rest of the makeup. I also want to show you what I want to wear. And then as said, we still have to talk about Vlogmas because there's so much coming. Okay, I'm back. And I actually brought this, which is a little tub container of eyeliner. I actually like to use this above the one that I just did because it'll help so much with just pigmenting it even more. So I'm gonna go over it and I'm just gonna be very gentle. Let's see what kind of lip color I want to do. So I have this like little thing that I usually carry, just has some concealer, a hair comb, and some lip products, a Mary Quant one, some e.l.f. lip stains, but I think I want to do this, which I have no idea where I got this from. I must have had it for several years. It's just kind of like a lip tint, but it's kind of like it's just a lipstick basically. And what I really like to do is, with all my lipsticks, I like to use a chapstick underneath. It just makes them so smooth and nice. This one kind of looks like you aren't even wearing any lipstick, I think. If you do a lot of it, you get a lipsticky kind of look. I do love this color. Okay, so what are we gonna do next? I feel like you can definitely see that my hair, the curls have hung out a little. This one is a lot more twisted than the other side, and I have no idea why. Maybe if I do like this, it'll be better, a little more even. I feel like this is the look, so I'm gonna answer a couple of questions and then get on to the clothes. Which, speaking of clothes, actually, with Love, Michaela wants to know what are tips you have for researching vintage brands. My biggest tip for like finding vintage brands is to read biographies. Read books about people who lived during the time, whose style you like. They will tell you where they got their clothes. Documentaries. I feel like if you look up documentaries about 1960s Carnaby Street, that's great. I could also do a video on that if more people are interested, let me know. But then if you're looking for them in store, I try to kind of like train my eye a little bit. So for example, Mary Quant, Ozzy Clark, Gunny Sachs, Biba, there are a couple of brands who have a very distinctive style, and if you know that, you will train your eye to see if you come across a piece like that. You can also just type them into Google, and then there is also a plethora of vintage brands, designer brands, but were still really popular in the 60s and 70s. Like for example, Veramont Paris is one. I mean, they made quite dressy clothes too. CNA was definitely a lot more in the like laid back kind of looks. There's this brand that I don't know how to say, but I have several clothes from them. I really like their stuff too. But generally I don't go by brands, but usually if you look at the tag, you can tell whether it is vintage or not. And then there are a couple of things you can do, like looking for the materials, the washing things. These are things that just make it easier for you to discover whether it is vintage or not. Same goes for the way that it is sewn. A lot of the vintage zippers, for example, are metal, as to where they are nowadays often plastic. So these are just a couple of things you can take into consideration when looking for pieces. My friend Coco asks, what's your favorite modern song? This is a hard one. I love a lot of the Greta Van Fleet stuff. So these are definitely modern songs, modern music. This is kind of difficult for me because I don't listen to that much modern music. Oh, lately I heard a track that I kind of love. What was it called? It popped up on my Spotify. It was like a classic country. Pink Skies, I think it was called Pink Skies. It was really beautiful. It's about someone like singing about the funeral of their mom or grandma, I think. I don't know. It's just what I heard in the song. It's really beautiful. I kind of like that. I also do like Florence and the Machine. Oh, and then I also really like Haim, whatever they are pronounced. They definitely make some great tunes. The Wire is a good song. That might be my favorite modern song. Yeah, I'm gonna go with The Wire by Haim. Whatever, I'm sorry. Next one is by Autumn Ghosts. Does Teddy Boy like when you play 60s and 70s music? I can see him dancing along. Teddy Boy is my son. He's not actually called Teddy Boy. It's just the name that I use for him on here because I want him to be private as long as he wants to. He loves music in general, and he especially likes Fleetwood Mac. It makes him dance. He loves the Beatles. He really likes Tommy by The Who. I feel like that's one that we spin a lot. Yeah, but generally he loves music. We dance a lot here. Favorite 90s and 2000 band? As said, I don't really listen to that much modern music. I do love Mezzy Star. Fade Into You, that's a beautiful track. I do like Oasis. I have to say that. I'm pretty big Oasis fan, actually. I would have loved to go to the shows, but they were sold out in a second, so that did not work out. But yeah, Oasis, that's actually a great band. I also do like Nirvana quite a bit. Okay, and then Ben asked a couple of questions. He asked about my favorite books lately, whether I like football, about my favorite films, and whether I like video games. So let's keep this short and sweet. I don't like video games. I don't really play them. I don't know. It just, there's nothing, I don't have anything against it or so. It just hasn't really ever caught my attention. Do I like football? Are we talking football as in soccer or football as in football? Football as in soccer, I'm fine with. We watch it every now and then. My brother-in-law plays, so we go to games every now and then. He's actually quite good. Football as in American football, I watched one Super Bowl. I'm so confused by it. I don't understand it. I don't know anyone who could explain it to me, so I really don't know anything about it. It might be a great sport. I have no clue. My favorite books lately, I reread Ushi Obamaya's biography. I love that. It's called High Times. It's a great book. It's unfortunately only available in German, but we just wrapped season 1 of the podcast, and so that was a great book to reread. I have not read a fictional book in so long, so I'm looking for recommendations. Actually, if anyone has a good book they would like to recommend to me, please let me know. I do like fantasy. I do like everything that's kind of like historic, whatever it is. I just haven't had time lately to just read something, but I would love to get back into it. Favorite films. This is a hard one too. As said, I'm a huge movie geek. I do like The Graduate. It's a nice little 60s film. As said, Roman Polanski movies are just so great. They're incredible. I do also like Quentin Tarantino. Not everything, but especially Inglourious Bastards, I find to be a really good film. It's just one that it's just really entertaining. A movie that I do love because I'm really into sad films. I feel like not a lot of people have watched it, is In August in Osage County. If you have not seen that yet, go watch it. It's a phenomenal film. You're gonna love it. It's a classical drama. It starts off sad and it gets even sadder throughout. So if you like that kind of movie, I can recommend you that. So yeah, I feel like it's time to get dressed. I'm all done with everything else. So let me show you what I'm wearing right now, and then we'll see what we can kind of like come up with. I'm a little further away from the mic now, but I hope you can still hear me. This is what I'm wearing so far. I really want to tuck the shirt. It's a little vintage blouse. I've owned it for several years. Someone kind of like ripped a bit down here, but I feel like it's still fine. Look at the collar. I do love that collar. I tried to iron it and it didn't work, so don't come at me. It's gonna be fine. I mean, this is a quite nice little look. So let's see what else I can put with it. I have a couple of tights here because I want to do blue tights. Oh, and then my thought was whether I want to do a different skirt with it. So let's see. The other option for a skirt would be this one because I felt like it kind of worked with this color. But now that I'm looking at it, let's see, I can just do a little longer like this. Because I felt like this skirt might be cool with some blue tights. Let's decide on the tights first and then I'll choose the skirt. My camera battery just died, but these are the 3 options. I'm trying to see which one goes best with the shirt. I feel like this one is too vibrant. I don't know. I do feel like this one goes better though. So let me try on this and then we'll see about the skirt. I hope you can kind of see me like this. I really want to try the other skirt because I feel like it might make the look a little more interesting. I do feel like I prefer this look. The skirt is a little big, so I'm thinking I passed an actual mirror on my way down, and I do like the outfit, so that's good. I went with this belt. This one used to belong to my uncle, so it's like almost wrapping completely around, so I'm glad that it has this little bit that I can just put further back. I like this. I feel like it's a fun look. For shoes, I just decided I'm gonna do these. I like them, and it is a kind of like It is a sunny day out today, so I feel like these are great. I have not worn them in a while because it's been raining a lot lately. My son loves to get into my shoes and play with the laces, so sometimes they're just all over the place. Now that I have this, I feel like the only thing that is really missing is a purse. So I'm gonna do this one to add another touch of blue. Oh, I really love this look. I've never worn this skirt with this shirt before, and I love how when you find a new combination in your closet, it makes you fall in love with these pieces over and over again. Also, I'm pretty sure I forgot to put on mascara. No idea how that happened, so I'm gonna get my chair back here and do that. This chair, by the way, I'm always in. My grandpa made, and it is so heavy, but I like it. It's a Knot International piece. Okay, ooh. Wow, I need to put the camera down a little bit. That's so funny. I feel like this is a good angle. Let's see. Okay, there it is. This is the mascara I have been loving and using lately. So let's put on that. I used to not wear any mascara at all for the longest time, but I feel like especially with Twiggy lashes, definitely ties the look together. You could also do fake lashes. I just don't love them for an everyday kind of wear. I have places to go today. We are actually planning on, not planning, I mean we're gonna go visit my in-laws, we're gonna stay the night. There is a soccer game on tonight, so we're probably gonna watch that because my husband's family, they love soccer. But they also have like a big garden, which is nice because the weather is really beautiful today. This honestly definitely is my all-time favorite weather. I love fall and winter when it is sunny. It's just the beautiful, most beautiful weather. It always makes me think of that Bob Dylan and Johnny Cash song, Girl from North Country. I feel like that could be me because I love it when it is cold. I know that that's not what the song's about, but that's what I kind of like imagine. Imagine a girl coming in these like cold winter months. The only thing that I don't like about winter is how early it gets dark because you lose so much time. I feel like that is it. I feel like this is the look that I want to go with today. My hair starts like going back into this one big curl, so I always like to loosen it up a little. But you can definitely see because I don't put anything in it, it kind of like gets a lot looser, and I do like that. I like the kind of like curled ends look. Oh, actually I saw, wait, I think there was one more hair question. I read something about Twiggy's hair. I forgot that. Yeah, I want to answer that one too because I already like selected only so few, so I at least want to answer all of those. Jay Syke said, I love Twiggy's short hair. It shows her cute face and petiteness. Would you get a pixie cut? I love Twiggy's hair too, but I wouldn't. I once got my hair cut like this. It just does not suit my face. I feel like there are things for everyone. Some faces go with this, other faces go with that. My face does not go with short hair. So yeah, that's on that. Okay, but before I'm gonna go, I want to tell you about Vlogmas, and I also want to put in my earrings. These one, classic little white earrings. I do like them a lot. So last year I did the classic Vlogmas of, what is it, 24, 25 kind of vlogs, and this year I'm gonna do something different because earlier this year I had this idea. When I do these like explaining 60s videos, if I talk, for example, about mod fashion, obviously it puts us into like a specific time in the 60s. I'm not finding my, oh, there it is. It obviously puts us in like a specific time frame of the 60s, but I have never done like a specific breakdown of years. So that's what I'm gonna do. Hear me out. I'm gonna break down the years 1960 until 1979 down in fashion, makeup, music, and a little bit of politics probably. I'm so excited to bring you this. So here's the plan. December 1st, I'm going to tell you about the year 1960. December 2nd, 1961, December 3rd, 1962, December 4th, 1963, December 5th, 1964, December 6th. Gonna take a little break. It's going to be a vlog because these like explaining videos will only get me to about 20 videos. So every 6th video will be a vlog. And these probably are going to be a little longer because I'm only going to do so few and because I know that you really like them. So we're going to decorate together, we're going to do all the fun shenanigans, and I'm so truly excited to share this with you. And then December 7th, we're gonna go back in at 1965. So I'm so truly excited. Let me know what you think about this idea. I feel like these videos are probably gonna be a tiny bit shorter than my current explaining videos, which are like 30 minutes. These are most likely going to be more around like 15, maybe 20 minutes, but I'm so truly excited to bring you this. So yeah, let me know what you think. I'm so excited for Vlogmas and so much looking forward to it, and I hope it's a little treat for you for being here all year long with me. And I'm also gonna have the tea with me, at least I hope so. I'm gonna try to get a tea advent calendar like last year so that we can drink a tea together every single day. Okay, so the last thing that I do when getting ready is putting on perfume. This is my current favorite. It's also my only one that I currently own. I got this last year at Vlogmas. It's the Betty Barclay Wildflower. Isn't it so pretty? I like to use this. I just don't do much usually. It smells so nice. It like makes me reminiscent of the 1960s for some sort of reason. I can imagine Patty Boyd smell like this. I also do like these kind of like musky, darker, heavier kind of scents. But I feel like for an everyday, this is just the perfect thing for me. So that is it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed getting ready with you, and I hope you did too. If you want to see more videos like this, just let me know. I could do them more often. I hope you have a beautiful day, no matter what you're doing, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye, dolls!